Yo, welcome back to FordeeTV. I'm your host, Fordee. So guys, let me show you what we're gonna make today in Final Cut Pro. Yo, welcome back to FordeeTV. I'm your host, Fordee. So guys, I have exciting news, right? I've been pinching my pennies, saving my money, and I bought an aquarium, huh? Check it out. I mean, who doesn't want a great white shark right outside their living room, right? So let me open up Final Cut Pro. I have it open here. I have a few projects listed in my project pane, and let's double click on green screen door. So if you look over here, basically this is kind of the end result that you saw. And you'll see that I put this clip, I've got a couple clips here. I'm gonna show you how to do all of this. I just wanna say before we get started, there was another way to do this much faster by using Mocha. This is actually the version that you saw, was the version using Mocha. Because I do not cross in front of the green screen, if you will, what I did is what inside Mocha, I created some shapes and I exported that shape data into After Effects to use as masks and was able to remove it very quickly this way, right? However, Mocha Pro is very expensive, so let me show you how to do this in Final Cut Pro. I'll double click on Start of Aquarium. I have the clip loaded here. The only things I have done to the clip so far is I have added a marker right here to show me where these windows first appear in frame, and so I know that. If I scrub to the end, I press up on my keyboard to come to the end of this, press left once, now I am on the final frame of this clip. If we scroll up here, you'll see there are no effects added. Perfect. Let me talk about what ended up happening. So I decided I was going to make this video. Excuse the few things in view that have nothing to do with the video. But one of the things that I thought is first I have a green screen. I put the green screen outside my balcony and I tried it that way. And you know what? The light was too much. It just wouldn't come out clean. So I said, unless we did it at night, but then there would be other problems because too much light, etc. You'll see I have a China ball here, but I do have, now this light's not on, but I have another light over here with a softbox that points, and overall this is fairly decently lit, huh? These dark bars right here are inside of the doors, right, or the windows, and these windows are quite a bit taller, 20 feet, 7 meters, something like that, huh? On the left side, I did it better than the right. I started the right and I lined them up, you know, edge to edge, and then taped them. Excuse me. That was not as nice or as clean as overlapping these construction paper, which definitely, if you ever end up doing it like this, overlap, better idea, because this darker is better than this lighter. Next, you'll notice right here, this white is going to be a problem for us. And I'll talk about a way you can fix it. I'm not going to do it in the video, but this white right here is because the construction paper didn't go all the way to the edge, right? And then you'll notice there's light leak happening here on the bottom. And of course, one way to fix this, I thought after the fact, would have been to put like a tape of black sheet behind the window so no light is leaking from the sun, etc. outside. And that would have gave a much cleaner result. However, this is what we got. Let's move forward. Bada bing, bada boom. What I'm going to do first, inside my timeline, while having this clip selected, I'm going to press Option on my keyboard, click and drag up to make a duplicate of that clip. And so now basically I have the same clip on top of itself. On the top clip, we are going to draw some masks and we are going to animate the masks of this top clip. I'll explain why shortly, but why don't we get started? Over here in my effects panel, I have mask selected. I'm going to click and draw mask. Woof, those are like how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodcut? Anyway, let's move on, right? I'm losing it. So the first draw mask is here. It says click to add a control point. We are on the last frame where we can see both of these, and let's do that. I'm going to click on the bottom right corner of the right window, and then over here, I'm not worried about getting this little corner part. The reason I didn't go outside of this edge of the window is because of the curtain. Right? I don't want this the curtain can cause issues with the key, whereas this brown of the door is quite contrasty to the green. So I could have some of this brown inside and that's fine. So I'm going to click outside. It's fine. I'm going to come down here and close it out. Now on this particular control point, I can adjust it, right? Because the thing I'm worried about here is the curtain. It's not the brown of the door. And going outside of the frame is totally fine, right? Next, we need to animate this mask. So I'm going to go over here to the draw mask. I'll click on the down arrow here. which technically I didn't actually have to do, and just click on Add Keyframe. Now I have a keyframe on the last frame of this clip. What I'm going to do is advance a few frames, and after I advance a few frames, I'm going to change the control points. And when I move them, right, you'll notice that it automatically sets a keyframe for these control points. And what I want to do is make sure that it's relatively staying in sync. Remember, I'm covering, or I have some of this brown door included on this side. That's totally okay. The only reason I'm not doing it on this side is because I don't want this curtain to be in view. Again, I'll advance a few frames. Now, how many frames you can get away with doing this each time? It depends on your source footage, right? So maybe with yours, you have to do every frame. On this particular clip, I think every few frames was totally fine. Again, I'll advance a little bit more. After I do this one, what I'm gonna do is stop talking. I will then do all of this, speed it up in post, because you don't need to watch me animate this mask for the next 10 minutes or whatever it takes me, huh? So I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, so I did it roughly, and at this point, what we're gonna want to do, I didn't scrub through as I was doing it to check the progress or how it works. So we're gonna do that now, huh? So as they come like this, boom, it looks like it's on. Let's go ahead and enlarge this to 100%. It gives me a little bit of room. I have my Final Cut Pro minimized on my monitor. There's a lot more room, but to make sure that I'm recording this in 1080p, I have it sized that way. So I'm gonna scrub through again. I'm gonna press N on my keyboard to turn off snapping, and you'll notice that when I did that, there is a small part right here that is not right. So I'll go ahead and drag that up. And then when I come like this, ready, come, it snaps on pretty quick, boom. It looks like it's staying. One of the things you'll notice is I got the glare. This is from the light, I think, inside my house. It's not from leaking outside, I believe. And so it is what it is. The key will probably get that, to fill it with what our final results. So as I scrub forward, looking good, looking good, looking good. So boom. Maybe there's one part it drifts right there, huh? And it drifts right here at the top. So we'll readjust that. We'll change this. Actually, it drifted there too. So let's again watch. So I come here. I'm looking at the bottom and the top right. They're very important that they are where they need to be. And I'm just scrubbing, double checking one point and the other, and both look nice, huh? So, okay, so we have the first one done. Again, I'm gonna scroll to the end. I'm gonna press N on my keyboard to turn on snapping, press up, and then left once, and now I'm on the last frame of this clip. I'm gonna go ahead and click on Draw Mask. I'll drag it over. Now with this second mask selected, I'm going to draw a mask here. Remember that it's okay that we're picking up the brown, and the reason it's okay is because that brown is quite contrasty towards, is that a word, contrasty? Compared to the green, huh? So I'll go ahead and draw that on. Here, this right here, I'm gonna try to leave that glare untouched with the mask. And this glare is from the light inside my house for sure, because it's on the brown of the door, huh? So now, being on this last frame, I'll come down to control points. I'll click the keyframe to add a keyframe so we can animate it. Now, luckily, this one is not as long. I'll go ahead and stop talking. I'll animate this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's scrub through, check the mask, and see what it looks like. So right there, maybe it could even be a little bit further out. So jumps on, looks all right. And of course, we could actually go to 100% to make this a little bit easier for us. And looks like it's on, ba, 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 ba. And looking good, more or less, huh? So one of the things you're going to see is it didn't do anything for us just yet. That's okay, right? Let's click on the clip below. And on this clip, we are going to click on keying in our effects and grab the keyer. I'll drop it on the clip. Again, we're at the end of our timeline, and that's good because we can see both windows here. So for this window, we'll notice that in this area right here, it must have been quite a bit darker than the other green. And this is what we're going to want to sample our color from. So we'll come over here to Refine Key. We'll click on Sample Color, and we will drag. Make sure this is selected. Make sure that's selected. And we will click and drag. I mean, we will if it works, right? Why are you not working, yo? So come back here. Come on, baby. You can do it. Now it's showing. All right, click and drag, and that looks pretty good, right? Maybe we drop this down a little bit. Something like this. Already, this mat is looking a lot better. One of the ways that we can verify how this mat looks is to switch over by clicking on this second button right here to look at the mat, and we could see what it looks like. Yeah, it looks all right, huh? But we need to fix some of this stuff. Fill holes, edge distance, spill level is not going to work in this particular scenario. And it depends, you know, like fill holes is going to fill any holes inside your mask. However, our masks, these are not really just little holes. They're light that is very contrasted against the green. So I'll press Apple Z to undo this. We're not having a problem with our edge distance, so we don't have to worry about that. And we're not getting too much spill in these edges. So you know what we need to do is come over to Matte Tools, and we need to change the levels contrast. To change the levels contrast, we want to drag this middle slider. As we drag it to the left, we're increasing contrast, and notice we're letting more light through where the light was leaking to begin with. As we drag it to the right, what happens? We're decreasing that contrast, and we are letting less. Now notice, one of the things that happens, I'm going to leave it right here somewhere roughly in the middle. Watch this top edge. Remember, this is where we had a lot of light leaking. As we drag this all the way over here, we have jagged up this edge quite a bit. Now, as far as introducing like issues like this, that's not a problem. That was the purpose of animating the masks on the clip above. So this looks all right. We can mess with the shrink and expand, maybe bump this, expand it just by 1 or something, and let's leave it there, right? I think more or less for this particular one, these are the settings that are gonna work the best. And what we need to do now is switch back over here to this first button for the composite. One of the things that you notice is, wait a second, all the places that are black should be see-through to see what's below. In order to see that, let's double click on green screen door. I'm just going to copy this footage right here by pressing Command C. We'll press back to go to the previous project. I'll click on the bottom or click here, and I'll click Command V to paste. Now I can drag this to the end because I know it's supposed to line up where it's supposed to be. If I hide these two clips by pressing Shift on my keyboard, selecting the second one and pressing V, then I've hidden these clips, and you'll see that I've resized this. Again, big shout out to Black Manta Photography. These guys have got some amazing footage underwater with these great whites and the fish. And thank you for letting me use the clip, I'll press V on my keyboard then to show these two clips, right? And looking good, except, right? I'll go ahead and deselect and just make sure I have the bottom clip selected. And let's scrub a little bit over here. Look at what's happening in the curtains. And you're like, but wait, you told me that was the purpose of the mask. However, let's click on the top clip and let's invert the masks. If we invert these masks, then we fix that problem, right? So now the masks are telling the keyer just to key in these areas. Perfect, right? And the other areas are being left alone. So now if we go ahead and play through, what's happening? It looks pretty good, There are definitely some issues. And again, if you start with a crappy green screen, you end up with a crappy result. And in the end, that's what happened. I could have redone the green screen, etc., but I thought the purpose of this tutorial is to show you how to do it and then talk about the issues that you'll come across. When everything goes right, it's really easy to get things perfect, right? But when things go wrong, you need to know the reasons why you'd have to change certain things or the things to look out for to hopefully avoid them yourself. And I thought that's why it's a good idea to not do a perfect green screen, and also because part of it is a screw up. So, but anyways, not a bad result. How can we make this better? Now, if you come over here, you'll notice in my project pane, I have something called 04 medium clean. This is actually a grain. I'll click and I'll drag it up here to the top. If I scroll, oh my gosh, we can't see our footage. Also, I'm going to press Option on my keyboard, click and drag to make a copy of this, put it next to it. I'll press B on my keyboard to cut it at the end. I'll press A to go back to my selection tool. I'll drag it around these two and press delete. Now I have grain on these top two, and of course, what I can do is come over here to the middle of them, press Command T. It's going to say you don't have any space for a transition. I'll say no worries, and we can extend this back out to be the length of the clip. The reason I added the dissolve is just so that hopefully there's not an issue when you're watching from going noise clip to noise clip. I'll then press on or select the first one, press Shift on my keyboard to select the second one, and I'll come up here to compositing and I'll switch it from normal to overlay. Boom. Now we have a ton of noise in that clip. We want to drop it down to maybe like, let's say 15% or 20% or something like that. And we've basically changed the settings for both of these clips. By adding noise into both of these, it will help sell the illusion of the composited stuff. However, we can go further. One of the things that we can do is we can color correct all this footage below. If we select it all, we right click and go to New Compound Clip. Actually, we probably don't, we do want to color correct the footage of the shark stuff also, right? So if we make a new compound clip, we'll leave it at the default name. We'll click on OK. We'll come over here to Magic Bullet Suite. We will find Magic Bullet Looks, and we will click and we will drag it onto the new compound clip. Now you'll see we can click on Edit over here. And this is going to bring up a screen so that we can make some changes. Maybe I'm just going to select one. I don't know which one would look best, honestly, here. I don't remember which one I used. Let's go ahead and try Classic Tension because there is a great white shark in here. I'll just click on OK, and then I'll drop this down, maybe to 40, 35%. We're not trying to get crazy, just turning this off and on. By color correcting this clip with some type of look, right, with some type of overlays, what's happening is it's happening to the whole clip. My blues are looking a certain way, both in the composited clip along with the original clip, and that will help sell your effect, right? Another thing, if we double click on this composited clip, come over here to the shark footage, you'll notice that I did slightly add contrast to it because it was, compared to my original clip, it was a little bit dull. There wasn't as much contrast as I have in my original clip. So I added a color board, and like I said, all I did is I dropped my darks and my midtones just a hair, not a lot, right? So you'll see that's the difference. That little difference, I think, definitely helped. I'll click on the back in my timeline thing here, browser. What is it called? Down in my timeline, I'll click on back to go back to the compound clip with the noise above it, and you'll see by turning on and off this color correction, it really sells it, right? Or sells it more. Again, we do have some issues over here with this the light leaking, etc. And that could have been fixed in a few ways. Like I said, minimally, the cardboard paper should have went all the way over to the top right here. We don't, as far as the light leaks between the cardboard pieces, we fixed that with the key. But down here, probably the way to fix that, again, is by putting some black outside. This is light leak coming from the sun outside, right? Although, does it really look that bad? Because actually, in the top of this cliff, there is light, because in the top of this clip is the top of the ocean. And so light is coming from the top, and technically, if there was light coming from the top, now forget it's the ocean. If it was an aquarium with a light on the top, light would be coming down, and it would be reflecting down here, right? So is this a bad thing? Not necessarily. But this right here in the corner, definitely, it would look better if it was cleaner. Guys, I hope you like this tutorial. In the next tutorial, I will show you how to do the exact same thing, well, but differently inside Mocha Pro. A lot faster, a lot fewer steps, etc. However, of course, Mocha Pro is expensive. If you guys like these tutorials and you find them helpful, go ahead and give them a like. Please give them a comment and share them with your friends. It helps out a ton. Guys, until next time, I'm out.